Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. As you might be able to tell, I'm still on vacation. Hence I haven't been uploading very much to the channel. I'm under strict supervision, not allowed to YouTube, nor am I allowed to watch much boxing. I'm here to enjoy myself. In all seriousness, I have been relaxing, doing some walking, eating way too much good food, and not uploading very much. There's a few more things that I've got in the hopper, historical stuff that's being trickled out over the next few days. But I thought I would get on the channel right now and talk about this Saturday's upcoming fight between Eubank and Benn. No, not the Eubank and Benn, but their offspring, Chris Eubank Jr. and Connor Benn. They're fighting on Saturday, April the 26th, and they're meeting at middleweight. It's interesting because, of course, Connor Benn is thought to be a welterweight, and Chris Eubank Jr. is universally recognized as being a super middleweight. Now, I say Connor Benn's thought to be a middleweight, but to be entirely fair, his last two fights have been at 154. Now, he is moving up, of course, to 160, but it's not like he's moving straight from welterweight. It's not like he's moving from 147 up to 160, because he has had a couple of fights at 154. Chris Eubank Jr. has got to boil himself down, but there is a rehydration clause. And I can't for the life of me remember if it's the IBF allowed 12 pounds or did they contract for 10 pounds. So he's either going to be allowed to come back to reweigh at 170 or 172. Somebody will, correct me in the comments or let me know in the comments. And that's really what it'll end up being, is a calculus. Can Eubank Jr. boil himself down to make weight and then rehydrate sufficiently to recover a sufficient percentage of his power, his resilience, his punch resistance, his energy levels, to be able to prevail over the younger and possibly more naturally athletic Connor Benn, who is moving up in weight. Now, Chris Eubank Jr. has the better record. I suppose you would say Chris Eubank Jr. is, what would you say? Would you say it was fair to say that he was fringe world level? Former British champion. He has held the IBO world title, which is, not overly well recognized, but it's fringe-ish, maybe you'd say. 35 years old, 5'11", naturally bigger man, probably better record. Connor Benn, I have no control over the airplanes flying above. Connor Benn, 28 years old, 5'8". He's never won the square root of FA, hasn't even won a trinket belt, never been British champion, never been anything. Famous last name. Clearly a gym rat, hard working, though drug cheat. Has not explained how he got clomiphene in his system. Let's have a look at activity. Neither have been super active, to be perfectly honest with you. I did write some notes down. Let me have a quick look. Connor Benn's last 4 fights. He fought in February 24, September 23, April 22, December 21. Eubank fought October 24, September 23, January 23, February 22. Slightly more active fighter. But the older fighter by 7 years. He's lost 3 times as well, Eubank. Whereas Connor Benn has never lost. Will that be important? Will Connor Benn... do you get used to losing? If Connor Benn has never lost. Eubank has lost. If the going gets tough, will Eubank remember his defeats? Connor Benn is probably full of, I've never lost, I'm invincible, I'm unbeatable. When this fight was announced, I guess it was 3 years ago, it was supposed to take place, I thought, honestly, that Chris Eubank Jr. would simply be the bigger, stronger man, would absolutely wipe the floor with Connor Benn. But of course, that was when he was 32. He's now 35. 35 is on the cusp of being an old man now, for especially these weights. We're not talking about these guys being heavyweights. 35 is on the cusp. Connor Benn is still only 28. Prime. Not a kid, but prime. Connor Benn's moving up. Got into his man strength, as it were. Eubank losing that weight at 35 to make weight. Can he rehydrate properly? Chris Eubank Sr. doesn't think so. Chris Eubank Sr. thinks this is highly dangerous. And I have to say there's something to that. And it has spooked me a little bit. As far as I think, if Eubank can get back to, say, 75% of his power, his resilience, his stamina, his punch resistance, then he's going to win. I don't think he's going to stop Connor Benn, though he does have over a 70% stoppage ratio. I think it would be points. But if he can't rehydrate sufficiently to get back to that, say, 75% of his charge levels, then I think Connor Benn will prevail. I very much want Chris Eubank Jr. to win. So I'm trying not to let that sort of cloud my judgment. And the thing is, this is Tuesday. I'm uploading this Tuesday. It's 6:30. I'd like to ideally do this after I've seen the weigh-in, but what I like and what I can do are two different things. So I'm making this before I've seen what they're like on the weigh-in. I think, or I hope rather, I suppose, that Eubank Jr. is going to get back to about 75% of his ability, and that he's going to prevail by way of points. Since I've got to put my money where my mouth is, that's what I will say. A Eubank win on points. But I would caution anybody against betting next month's rent on it, as this is by no means as clear-cut as it may well have been 3 years ago. Connor Benn has never lost. He's moving up a weight. Fair dues. He's never fought anybody as naturally big as Chris Eubank Jr. He's never fought at 160. But he's the younger, very strong, powerful boy. 28 versus 35. I'm going to go with Eubank Jr., but like I say, I'm pleased I don't have to put anything more than the pensioners' bets on. But that's what I'm going with. Chris Eubank Jr. on points. Fingers crossed. Let me know what you think. Please let me know in the comments section. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I'm back in Canada next week, so I'll be back uploading videos more frequently and interacting more regularly. Regularly? Is that a word? Regularly. But in the meanwhile, I may be able to make one more video or so before I go back home. But in the meanwhile, enjoy whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much for your time as always. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and commenting. Appreciate it very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.